back inside the top 5 here tonight with a good run for the Joe Gibbs Racing team.
Boy, I really wish our timing scoring had our lap times up, because this track has deteriorated. And out front, Stewart with just such a huge lead. Barsha, well, actually Barsha holding it pretty steady right there, but Roxon, he had his opportunity. Now he's faded back to 5th, as you can see right here. KTM team, they have to be a little frustrated with the way that this main event has played out, with Villopoto having problems today, Stewart having a horrible start.
Here's James Stewart on his way with an incredible performance. Back-to-back wins. Detroit, and now here in Toronto.
Yeah. Kevin, would you agree? It's been a while since we've seen a rider dominate the field like James Stewart has done here tonight.
I mean, it was amazing, but there are 2 people on this track right now having championship rides. It's the number 7 of James Stewart and the number 1 of Villopoto. Both these guys are riding so well that they deserve a championship from their rides tonight. Like you said, Jeff, the KTM guys a little bit off right now.
San Diego, Dallas, Detroit, and now Toronto. James Stewart, career win number 49, and it comes with an impressive ride. He is now 2nd, all by himself on the all-time win list. And Ryan Villopoto with the heart of a champion. Earlier today, most people didn't even think he would make it into the show, and instead, Villopoto proves everybody wrong, and he will ride to a 6th place finish.
Wow.
What a night.
Hey, guys, collectively, has this not been one of the most exciting, drama-filled nights of Monster Energy Supercross that we have ever experienced? I can't think of a race that has had more excitement than this.
I had sweaty palms the whole race. I'm nervous. I feel like I'm out there with the guys.
Well, and it began early this afternoon with the stories of crashes, riders going to the hospital. Will they run? Will they not run? Will they make it? And here they are.
That was
Stewart. An unbelievable Stewart-esque performance. Like I said earlier, we've seen this, Jeff, out of him in the past, where he would have a bad starter, get caught up in a crash on the opening lap, be dead last, and work his way through the field.
Remember, as we take a look here at the all-time wins list right here, the point I'm trying to make is it's how Stewart rides the track on a night like tonight, where when he pulls the trigger on rhythm sections, takes risk, which to him probably seemed pretty easy, that not many riders would ever take. That's why, to me, when, you know, aside from the number of championships or the number of wins, to me, he might be the most skilled Supercross rider in the history of the sport, in my opinion. It comes with a lot of ups and downs at times, okay? There's been a lot of wins, a lot of crashes, but nights like tonight, as he gets a hug from his brother Malcolm, you see why I feel that way,
you
that type of ride.
It's almost impossible to even debate. I mean, we've seen him do things like this, you know, periodically, and it's amazing to watch.
His dad, Big James, there, and so's our Jenny Taft, ready to jump in, Jenny.
We like to get him right after a huge win. Now back-to-back wins for you, James. You had some unbelievable passes after not the best start. Take me through those passes on all 3 of those guys.
I passed so many people, I don't really remember where I got, but last time I did something like that, it was Anaheim 1, and I was going through next to Ken through the whoop, so I'm like, please don't swap out, but just got to give the team up a lot of credit. We had a little issue in the heat race, and got my bike dialed in, and we came out and got it done. That race was tough, a lot of energy out there, but got to thank the whole team, Yoshimura Suzuki, Red Bull, 7 Gear, Oakley, everybody, man, I'm so happy. That's to break Ricky's record and to do it like that, you know, such a legend, and man, that says a lot.
You told me you wanted to break records. You did it tonight. Is that championship back on your mind?
Nope. Try to win. You know, Ryan, unfortunately, got got to give that guy credit, man. He's got a lot of heart coming out here straight from the hospital. I've done that a few times. So he fought, he did what he could do. I don't know what place he got, and all I can do is try to win and go from there.
Thanks for your time, James. Guys?
Well, it's back to the couch now, right? That's the way that training regimen we've been kidding with him about. Actually, it's probably back to the golf course. James telling me earlier today, you know, playing golf has done a lot for him in his mental preparation, believe it or not, and it's paying off. Well, don't go anywhere. Fox Sports Live picks it up right after the break. We'll be right back with more from Toronto as James Stewart hugs team manager Mike Webb.
Welcome back to Monster Energy Supercross, taking a look back at all of the 450 qualifying action. Davey Millsaps gets his first heat win of the year. Trey Canard goes down hard, gets his hand looked at, and comes back to the line with a bloody glove. He is in the main tonight. Just a couple of minutes until the gate drops on the 450 main. 22 riders for 20 laps. Let's check in with Jordan one final time.
Well, Jamie, if anyone knows how to ride well here at Anaheim, it is Chad Reed. His 8 wins at this stop are tied with Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, and Jeremy McGrath, someone he very much looks up to. He said that to be the king of Anaheim with a win tonight would be so meaningful to him, especially at this point in his career. And I said, why do you always race so well here? And he said, because there's so much hype, there's so much pressure, sacred ground, and it plays into my DNA to step it up under these situations.
Some riders just play well in that stressful environment.
Yeah, and Chad Reed is really good at rhythm sections, and he's really good at whoop sections, and those are some critical parts of the track here tonight. Let's see how good the number 22 can be off the start.
KTM bringing you Spider Cam. Here we go. The final time in Anaheim in 2016. Millsaps roars through turn 1. Here comes Dungey. Reed is right there in third. And if you thought this Anaheim crowd was digging the battle between Webb and Christian Craig, if Reed starts making his way towards the top spot, this place will go nuts.
No doubt about that. How about Davey Millsaps, who's won here before? He's on a roll here tonight. He's feeling good. Got his new ride here at the PTO Sports KTM. He's good through the whoop sections too. Look at how he's gapped the reigning champ, Ryan Dungey, already here on the first lap. Oh, almost over the bars.
Boy, did he let that one go. And you know what? We all thought, Jeff, that there could certainly be a third new winner of 2016 here tonight. But I don't think any of us had Davey Millsaps penciled into that. And he showed us we should have thought a little bit more about that.
His heart rate down after that little moment. Dungey's caught him a little bit. Here's a good look at the whoops right here. 2 different line choice. So cupped out and rutted out. Those are really, really difficult.
We talked about how Millsaps hadn't won a heat race since Salt Lake City a few years back. Well, he hasn't won a main since San Diego 2013. That was 27 starts ago.
And look at how the fast line in that 180 right-hander there was like 3/4 of the way through the turn. So you leave that much of the inside of the turn wide open. That's why we've had such great passing here tonight on this track.
Dungey just floating through the Anaheim air on that Red Bull KTM. No panic out of the man with the number 1 plate. Oh no, Trey Canard off again. This time at the finish line jump. I have no idea how he got there.
My
Can he
instincts,
get off?
well, it looks like he's in some pain again, but Ralph, my instincts tell me that he got a little help there coming out of the turn.
Man, it has been a rough day here in Anaheim for Trey Canard.
Well,
There
right
he
now,
goes, trying to get some help. Last time, Davey Millsaps led a 450 main, 2015, the second race in Anaheim, just 1 year ago.
well, and right now you're looking at the gap there. Dungey just a little less than a second off of your leader, Millsaps. So Reed has fallen back 3 seconds now. Pike just a half a second behind him. So Pike and Reed running really close in third and fourth. That gives Dungey a little bit of breathing room to go wherever he wants on the track. That way he can focus on only what's in front of him, not what's behind him.
Dungey stalking Millsaps. KTMs. The Austrian brand has made its way to the front and shown that they are a dominant manufacturer in this form of racing these days.
Dungey to the inside.
Got him! No! He stumbles coming out of the corner. He had them all lined up, set, ready to go. Now, Millsaps knows Dungey's there and ready to challenge.
Ralph, that might have been Dungey's chance to get a clear track. Oh, he's scrubbed that triple.
Lined up again, runs it perfectly. Comes back over in front of Millsaps and takes the line away. But Jeff, guess what? Reed's also closed back up.
Put the charge on. Reed's got a little gap on Pike, who's still in fourth. Weimer, very impressive ride in fifth.
It has been a great start to the season for Jake Weimer. Very impressive. Here's Reed. He's right on the heels of Millsaps now. Starting to circle around, looking for a way around Millsaps.
And you just wonder if Chad Reed, oh, look at a triple all the way through.
Here he comes, right there. Shows him a wheel, but can't get by yet.
Struggled a little bit because he was so far on the inside. Chad Reed won his first 450 main event here. It was actually 252 strokes back in the days. January 4th, 2003. It's been a while since the first win. And Chad Reed, he's trying to make it number 9 here tonight. He needs to strike now on Davey Millsaps and then set his sights on the champ, Ryan Dungey.
Tomac runs in 5th, Weimer is 6th, Roczen 7th, the season opening winner. Anderson is 8th, Brayton and Seeley rounding out the top 10 as we continue to watch the battle for 2nd. Reed changes his line, and it could have been a great move by the two-time champ. The crowd roaring their approval as the fan favorite moves himself to 2nd. Now, Jeff, how's his fitness and speed? Can he close in on Dungey? Not even halfway yet.
Okay, the gap right now, 1.3 seconds. Dungey was faster last time around, but he was at a 57. Okay, Dungey goes 57.4. Reed a 58.5 while he was making that pass. So Reed has got to drop his lap time. He has to drop the hammer and chase down the champ. He wants to win this main event here tonight. But how about the number 3 Kawasaki rider being like Tomac?
Tomac has moved up to 4th. He's going after Millsaps. Reed just, gosh, look at Tomac bounce through those whoops. He struggled with that all night long, and he goes right around Millsaps in that corner.
Hey, Ralph, last time around, Tomac had your fastest lap time of a 57.4, just a tad bit quicker than Dungey. So, got this new ride here on Monster Energy Kawasaki.
Yeah, and he said, you know, I'm not anxious to push it too hard too soon. Need to come to grips with this fight, this team, get ourselves in a good position, and then we'll be all right to battle for this championship. And I think what we're seeing out of him tonight, Jeff, is that he's feeling more comfortable with this machine.
Let's take a look at how Eli Tomac scrubs the triple. That's Weston Pike there, the blue Yamaha. Nice aggressive move by Tomac.
Well, he gets through the sand well. And here's Roczen. He's the next one who's going to be challenging Millsaps for position. Roczen in 5th.
Roczen has had great speed this year. His starts have been horrendous, and it's cost him now in 3 straight main events. One of the biggest reasons for his success 1 year ago at the beginning of the championship was that he started consistently up front. Now that has flipped, and he's riding through the pack for the 3rd straight main event.
What do you think is wrong with his starts?
I'd have to go back and talk to him a little bit this week. He's been changing his technique up a little bit. That's something that you need to practice repetitively so that it's just instinctual, but he's searching. He didn't find it tonight.
And it's hurting him. In the point standings, Roxon is shown in 6th. Oh, Anderson right behind him. Anderson shown 3rd in the points. He needs to start moving up through the field, get himself not just in the top 5, but hopefully on the podium before this night is done. There's our Oakley camera. Good look as they come through that corner. Dungey 4.0 in front of Reed on timing, is 4.3 on the other.
Dungey just set the fastest time, 57.9. Reed was right there, same time, and Tomac couple tenths off. These riders come by in the 59 and 58 second range, so losing time to your leader.
Roxon is definitely closing on Millsaps, and Anderson's coming. Yeah, Roxon definitely looks good through there that time, and he's all over the back here of Millsaps KTM. Coming to the inside. Can't get it there.
Yeah, gets back in line here so he can triple this section out of the turn. Oh, Millsap slide, tuck at the front wheel right there. If you're Roxon, you notice those little mistakes. He's being really cautious here trying to pass Millsap. He needs to pull the trigger sooner than later. Right there, he pulls the tear off and makes the pass. There he goes. Looks over his shoulder to make sure Millsap is going to wisely just fall into line there. Millsap knows he's fading back a little bit.
And Anderson's squaring him up next. The Rockstar Husqvarna rider. And there's Pike and Brayton. And another good run out of Brayton too, Jeff. Another night in the top 10, and he's running in front of the factory Honda of Sealy. Of course, Brayton teammates with Millsaps on that BTO Sports KTM WPS back entry.
Looking at the first lap position, some of the most impressive rides. Anderson was 12th on the first lap. Now he's 6th.
And Tomac is closing on Reed. Chad is holding down 2nd. And Tomac is on the move. Less than half to go here. 9 laps remaining.
Tomac has never won here in the Premier class. Dungey's got 2 wins.
And it's looking more and more like Dungey might be our first repeat winner of the year.
Got a 5-second lead, little by little. Dungey just pulling away.
Reed's last win came in Atlanta, February of last year. He's won at least 1 race in 11 different seasons. What a career for Chad Reed. Hall of Fame caliber stats for sure.
No doubt about that.
And there's plenty of reason to believe he'll get another one before this year is out.
New team, new bike. Great start to the season right now. Trying to put it together. Solid ride.
Well, Trey is done for the night, and it has been a very frustrating day for Trey. Numerous issues. Had a practice crash, and then heat 1.
Right, the left side of your screen, the center there. Gets landed on, goes down, injures his right hand. There for a bit, it looked like we would not see him again. It's got some cuts on his hand there. Switches gloves.
Comes back in semi number 2. Didn't even think we'd see him again. Got through the semi, and then here in the main, he got together with Brayton.
Got a little help from Brayton, goes in and slams him. They tangle. Canard goes off the side of the track, then heads back to the Team Honda rig.
Back to the racing action here. That's Millsaps, who is still holding on to 6th.
He's got company though. Weston Pike still charging.
Sealy behind him, and his teammate Brayton Weimer has dropped to 10th. Muscan runs in 11th.
Look that gap there, Ralph, as we take a look at Pike. The gap between Dungey and Reed's closing up just a little bit. 7 to go. All these leaders getting through the lap traffic. Did that play a role? If you miss a rhythm section or get into a lap rider in the back of the whoop section, it can make a big impact on this race. Hard to believe that these riders, to me, they're struggling through these whoop sections like they are. The bikes are so good these days. They get across the top of those whoops so good. So Supercross track crew figured round 3, let's really give these guys a challenge here tonight. This one's starting to get a little line through it there. But that first section is brutal.
Pike's got to feel great just getting back on the bike tonight. He's got a top 10 rating here. I'm sure he'd like to get into that top 5. Got a lot of ground to make up after being forced out of 2 rounds.
Taking a look at the back of this group right here, the 14 of Cole Seeley, pink riding gear. He was 11th off the start. Now he's picked up 3 spots.
Yeah, and they are really pushing hard on Millsaps here.
Wow, look at Weimer and Muscan there. Muscan the 25, Weimer the 12. These riders jumping through that first set of whoops, trying to find a rut in there. That tells me they're really cupped out, really nasty, pretty treacherous.
And Marvin there on the 25, Dungey's teammate in his rookie season, has moved past Jake and into 10.
Champion. His results so far this year are 14 at the opener and a 9th last week.
Marvin struggled a little bit this time.
Oh, he's way on the outside right there, and so just like in the heat race, oh, he goes down, trying to cut his way. He went wide into the Toyota. Most of the time with your front wheel fork grabs the tough blocks, it'll take it, throw it out from under you. So down off the start, not a good way to start the main event.
Looked like Freezy got off course there too. There goes Weimer, who's now running in 11. Will Hahn will be behind him, and then Porcel. There's Will.
Has been a struggle for Will Hahn, 17th in the opener. 16th last week. 12th here tonight.
You know, Jeff, Dungey, if he can win this here tonight, become the first rider to win 2, and you want to believe the stats, it can be very important. 03 to 2014, the first rider has won the championship every year.
That's an interesting stat. Good job for a resource department.
Here's Tomac and Roxon fighting over 3rd.
Tommy Hahn there, 47, going a lap down to this group. But what a charge here by Ken Roxon.
Well, and again, it raises a question of if he can improve on the starts. What could he be doing?
Well, and what's interesting is on the first lap position, Roxon was 9th. Tomac was 10th. But something happened that we didn't see on our screen that really put Roxon back as Tomac had charged through the pack there. Now, with 3 to go, 2.5 laps to go, they find themselves together again. Oh, that is a tough set of whoops. And that's one of those whoop sections that makes me glad I'm retired. Yeah, I didn't like them to begin with, and I especially didn't like those sets.
That's not going to get you inspired if you're not a fan of it. Reed doing everything he can to hang on a second, but boy, Tomac would like to take it away from him. 3 to go.
Pressure from Tomac, that should inspire Chad Reed.
Let's see what he can do. Dungey, meanwhile, out front, just about 5 seconds in front of these 3. And there he is on the right side of your screen.
That is unbelievable. These riders have come together. Great battle here. 2 laps to go. Look at Tomac.
And Traffic in front of him too, Jeff. That could come into play. One of them was Alessi. He moves out of the way. Here we go. Lap and a half remaining here. Reed sensing there's two behind him. Takes a look over the shoulder. Roxon charging hard as well for the 4th position.
Chad Reed, this is his 189th start here tonight, trying to get yet another podium. He's got one position to work with, but he's blocking that line so Tomac can't get to the inside. He's been here before.
Oh, he is not going to make it easy, that is for sure. And Tomac slipped. Tomac bobbles, he goes down, he's back on his bike, but he's out of the battle for second. Now it'll be up to Roxon to take a shot at Reed. Tomac, though, does a great job of getting back on the bike and going again. He only loses one spot, and it looks like Roxon is not very close to Reed.
What can you say about Ryan Dungey? Wow, he's in the best form of his career. He is so focused and so strong.
Jeff, you think back to just a couple of years ago, he was really seemed to be struggling to kind of find his way after winning that first championship, and man, it has just come together in the last year and a half.
One-hander for the champ, one turn to go.
Here he comes, Ryan Dungey wins his second race, the first rider in 2016 to win 2 events, and he does it back-to-back. Celebration as well for his man and Carlos Rivera, his mechanic. Ryan rolls up.
Let's watch what happens to Tomac here. Look, he's a couple bike lengths behind Reed, and he's going to try to get on the throttle. Oh, he loses a little front wheel traction. The rear wheel starts to slide out a little bit in that loose dirt, and he slides off the podium.
Yeah, and here's Ryan celebrating, and that's also what cost our guy, Roxon, who struggled. We'll be right back. Getting ready for the start of the 450 main. Adam Enticknap, Ronnie Stewart, and Christophe Porcel about to make their first starts in the main this year. Jeff, you think the corners could be a key here?
Well, certainly, if you don't have that clean start in a hole shot where you can ride your own lines, just all of these turns, you enter the turn so wide. And we've seen a lot of block passes in this 180 leading into the sand. This turn right after the sand, of course, is the incident where Freese and Anderson got together, because you have to set up wide to do that on-off tabletop. Just after this, you notice the main line, everybody, look where the braking bumps are on the right side of your screen, is way to the left, right where that first Discount Tire white tough block is. That's where everyone wants to enter the turn, and that leaves the inside of the turns wide open. Now this is the main event, the points, the cash, the trophy, everything's on the line.
Down to the starting gate area, here's Jenny.
Armin Muskin told me today I am in a good place. I'm getting the podiums. I know that I have the speed, and I specifically asked him about having that 20-second gap between he and Dungey and Roxon last week. He said, hey, I'm not going to worry about that, because in practice, I know I'm racing just as fast as Dungey, and I know there are a lot of guys behind me that are going extremely fast. So if I keep staying in this position, and if I get the start, I know that the speed will be there. And something else to consider, Red Bull KTM team manager Roger DeCoster told me that there's been a difference with Marvin this year in his maturity and also his strength. He's a lean guy, but he said overall he is so much stronger, and the way he carries himself, hopefully that pays off tonight.
Don't want to forget 47 there, Malcolm Stewart, about to make his first start of his professional 450 career, as we see KTM Spider Cam high over the starting gate area. Jeff, you thought gate pick was going to be key.
Yeah, certainly right here in this, right where that yellow Thor.
Here we go, gate drop, 450s. Cooper Webb with the whole shot, and Dungey comes flying out with the lead.
Unbelievable, 13th gate pick, and the champ is out front.
Cole Seeley with a good start as well. Muscat buried deeper in the field. And where's Ken Roczen?
Talk about responding to the adversity. The number 1 of Dungey's out front. The number 2 of Cooper Webb has faced some adversity, but now he's put it together and finally got a good start in the main event here in the 3rd race of the season.
Dungey was shot out of a cannon. Waiting for the 94. Where's Roczen? There he is. Roczen inside the top 10, Jeff, but he's deep in it. And he's got Malcolm Stewart right behind him. Dealing with Weston Pike now in front of him. Not a good start at all for Ken Roczen.
Well, he's got Muscan right there also. Let's see how Roczen deals with this bad start, mid-pack start. We have him as 7th here on the first lap. Makes the move on Pike.
Yeah, picks up 1. Settles in now looking after Marvin Muscat.
How about Seeley also? Oh, Roczen blows this rhythm section. Luckily, he doesn't lose the position.
Not a smooth start to this one for Ken Roczen, is it?
Well, this is where you have to be smart. You have to dig deep. You have to remain loose in this situation, not tighten up and not stress out about this. Meanwhile, Dungey's got a couple-second lead over Webb.
Comes into the night as a points leader. And as I mentioned to you earlier in the broadcast, the point standings continually update on our monitors here in our Fox Sports broadcast booth. And the way they're running right now, believe it or not, as tight as the championship has been, with Dungey finishing 2nd to Roczen in the first 2 rounds, Dungey would actually take over the points lead tonight.
See Muscan getting through Grant right there. Grant misses the rhythm section. That's going to allow Roczen to fly by 2. But what I want to talk about was the HRC Honda rider, Cole Seeley. The best start so far that he's had this season.
Right to 2nd. Look at that, Jeff. Solid move.
And remember how quick he was at the end of the main event just 1 week ago. He's been 6th and 5th this season.
And to that point, this is the 2nd week in a row that Dungey has led the opening lap. If you remember at San Diego, he led the first 7 laps, then Roczen got by. So let's see what Seeley can do here. And Roczen now, he's caught up to Muscan. That becomes a battle over 4.
Last time around, Roczen, fastest lap, 56.5. A couple tenths of a second quicker than Dungey.
And they're closing in on Cooper Webb. Webb in his first 2 races in the 450 class, a 10th here at the season opener, 14th a week ago. Right now, Cooper running in 3rd.
Roczen's pouring it on right now, Ralph. Only 4.6 seconds separate Roczen and the leader.
Here he comes. He's really putting the pressure on that Red Bull KTM, and Muscat can feel it. Inside, takes him high, and Roczen blows past and up another position.
Roczen just boxed him out perfectly, so there would be no retaliation. Roczen on fire. He is focused and just slicing his way through the pack.
Never seen him more confident than he has been this year. Inside of Cooper Webb. He's got the Yamaha rider as well, and Roczen continues his march up through the field.
I mean, just so confident, the 94 Ken Roczen.
Here's Malcolm Stewart with Chad Reed and Eli Tomac on his tail. Malcolm running in 8th. Reed and Tomac rounding out the top 10.
Tomac shown as 10th on the first lap, so not sure exactly why he's where he's at right now, other than just been locked into a pretty tight battle. We have Reed as being 9th on the first lap, and Stewart is 8th, and that's right where they run now. After about 5 minutes of racing. Oh, Reed gets the hops on that braking bump in the sand section. Yamaha flies up in the air, but he manages to get it slowed down a turn.
Tomac hounding Reed. The 2-time champ just in front of him.
Boy, there's just so much expectations for the number 3 of Eli Tomac on the Monster Energy Kawasaki coming into the season. Won that opening round heat race. He struggled in the main events. Just has not been able to find his groove.
5th and a 6th for Eli Tomac. First 2 races, he's 5th in the points.
When I look from Spider Cam right here, Ralph, you just get a sense of how much moisture is in the air.
Yeah, we were able to talk to Jenny just before we dropped the gate, and she said the rain just misty now, not really raining very hard. Shouldn't impact the running of this main event.
Well, if anything, it would be toughest for the riders if that mist gets under goggles. You'll go through those tear-offs a little quicker than normal.
Chad Reed lives for this moment right here. I talked to him earlier this season about what drives him, and he said, I love the fans, I love being in the spotlight and all that, that's great, but it's being out there once that gate drops and racing with the best riders in the world that I get to do every Saturday night and seeing if I can live up to the level of competition, and he's running in the top 10 here tonight. Here's Seeley, just in front of Roxon as they fight over second place. Seeley, his last win, Houston, 2015. Jeff, that's 19 starts ago. He only had 1 podium, a second in San Diego, the second race in San Diego last year.
Well, Seeley having a great ride here tonight, and remember, he's on HRC Honda, him and Robson, so they'll spend a lot of time riding together lately, okay? So now Seeley's been able to gauge where he's at with the guy that's won the first 2 rounds. But the problem is that now Roxon has lost about a half a second to Ryan Dungey, your leader right now. So Roxon, who is working his way through the pack pretty aggressively, now he's kind of stalled out a little bit here as he's caught up to Seeley, who's having a great night, running some great lap times. And last time around, Dungey was at a 56.5. He's getting close to the finish right now. We'll see where he's at.
And Dungey was 3.4 seconds out in front. See where he is now. Here comes Cole. Yeah, he picks up a couple tenths on him.
Seeley, 56.3, Roxon at 56.4, Dungey at 56.5, so they stay very, very close. But a great ride right now for the number 14. We're not even halfway through this main event yet. So now we'll start to work our way through some lap riders.
You can see Roxon running pretty close to what Dungey's time is. Seeley obviously doing the same.
Track really starting to deteriorate. Look at the ruts there at the bottom of that section. Have a different rhythm through there. Ends up pretty even. So now it's all about corners. It's about the whoop section. And it's about being aggressive and getting through the lap riders.
How about fitness, too?
Oh, for sure.
We're going to see that come into play. We got about 11 and a half to go, plus that 1 lap.
Line choice right now, being smart as the track starts to go away. See, Dungey just goes under this tunnel jump.
You know, we talked, Jeff, about Chad Reed in San Diego and how solid he's been there. You know, Dungey's pretty darn good here in Anaheim. He's had 19 starts here, 4 wins, 12 podiums. In his last 5 races, he's been second, first, second, and he's leading here tonight.
Pretty good results.
Not bad.
Up right there, see Intignap holds up Seeley.
Oh! Down goes Roxon in a big one. Ken Roxon is down, and it looks like he's holding on to that left wrist. The Alpine Stars medical crew right there to attend to him. And the medical flag comes out right away. Everybody's going to have to roll through there.
They're going to throw that medical flag out at the beginning of the rhythm section so that those riders go single, single, single all the way through there. Wow, that was a massive crash by your points leader.
There's his mechanic, Oscar Bergman. Hoping the best for his rider. Dungey rolls through, he'll see that it's Roxon that's down.
Well,
we wait for more information on the points leader.
Well, and Seeley has closed up a little bit right here, only 3 seconds off of Dungey. Dungey struggling through that heat race, and the semi gets that all-important hole shot here in the main event, and he's just been able to lead a clean race. Wow.
Well, let's take a look at what happened to Ken Roxon. Watch the 94.
Remember I noted the ruts right here at the bottom. Gets a big kick right there and just slams right into that jump. Okay, we talked about it last week and also this week, how the bottoms, because of all the rain, the bottoms of the rhythm sections are really soft dirt. The jumps stay dry and stay hard, and we found one of those little square edges that start to develop. Watch what happens. See all those ruts? Right away, he knew he was going over. One more look.
And it just launches him. And down goes Ken.
How quickly it can happen here in this sport.
And we saw that with him in the Monster Energy Cup at the end of last year. And that second race so strong, and he went through the bars there. And here tonight. Meanwhile, Dungey out front, 6.5 seconds now on Marvin Muscan. We will certainly update you as soon as we hear anything about Ken. Whatever the latest is, you can see the Alpine Stars medical crew right there attending to him. They were on the scene within seconds.
Yeah, but and it's a very difficult part of the track. He's in the middle of the stadium here, and it's difficult for this medical team to get him off of the racing surface. Because they have to get their vehicle that they transport injured riders from there at the bottom of your screen. They have to get the vehicle past the racetrack.
Seeley, watching him, Roxon's teammate, still in third, fighting with Muscan here.
Muscan on the move, so now both Red Bull KTM riders first and second.
See the flag still out as a 10 to Ken, and you can see he is up, and they are helping to put him.
Looks like they have some.
Yeah, wrapped him up on that left arm, and they will take him, Jeff, to the Alpine Stars mobile medical rig, which is here at the track, and check him out first there. The crowd, of course, stunned over this huge crash as they watch the points leader suffer here tonight.
Well, and Ralph, we have all those great replays, but I tell you, a crash like that, unfortunately, I've been in those positions before. As we're sitting here watching them in our TV booth, I have a hard time doing the analysis on those.
Seeley doing his best to bring some positive to that Honda HRC squad. Well, he's looking at a podium finish here.
Yeah, that'll be his best of the year. Remember, he was the 6th at the opener, 5th a week ago.
He's trying to reel in Muscan, who's 2.5+ seconds in front of him.
Now, just behind Seeley in the running order, you're going to find that
Cooper Webb.
blue Monster Energy Yamaha of Cooper Webb. Boy, what a recovery this is for him. Running in 4th right now. After just a difficult, challenging start to the season with a 10th and a 14th.
Right. Pike is going to be next up behind that.
Pike, 8th and a 7th coming into tonight.
Here's Pike. He's gun around Schmidt, and he's got Grant coming up with him right here. Grant running in 6th.
It's going to be a season best for Grant, who was 9th and 11th so far.
And Chad Reed in 7th.
Track really starting to get chewed up. Some of these turns, some of these ruts right now. Look at this big braking bumps going right in there. Like I mentioned, trying to be setting up for that on-off. But right now, this is probably have about 5 minutes total left in this when you take into account the extra lap. But this is going to be a difficult track here tonight. But I still have to give a shout out to this Dirtworks crew that built this track and prepare it on how good the surface has been.
There
Fortunately
goes
for Roxon,
Ken Roxon
over.
off the track. That's Eddie Casillas sitting there with him. They obviously have his arm taped up. They will take him to that mobile medical unit and evaluate him further from there. And we will, as we said, update you on anything we learn while we are on the air with you here tonight. Tomac running in 8th. Again, not the night Eli was hoping for.
Certainly not, because this season has really the expectations are all about main event wins and being a championship contender. For Tomac, a 5th and a 6th, and now setting 8th. Going to be scratching their heads when they go back to Kawasaki, wondering what they have to do to get a rider with such great potential to get him in the position he needs to notch the podiums and eventually a win.
We also talked about with Tomac too, Jeff, that even though he's a high title contender, there's a lot of pressure for him to perform that way.
Yeah, but those expectations come by great results. If you never had good results, nobody would expect anything. Oh, Millsaps gets a little crazy there on that same section where Roxon crashed. Good battle. Grant starting to close up on Weston Pike right now. Grant knocking on the door for a top 5. Pike trying to hold on, but now Auto Trader Suzuki.
So, you know, for Millsaps, this will be his 3rd top 10 here in a row. We watch Grant trying to catch up to Pike. Now, Pike didn't have a top 5 all last year. His best finish was a 7th at Detroit. Well, he's looking at top 5 finish.
He's got a couple of veterans here with Grant, who's won here before, and Reed, who has the most tied for most wins here in this stadium with 8, breathing down his neck. So for Weston Pike, the minute 44 plus a lap left, the toughest part. Wow, how he got lined up for that triple when he hit that acceleration rut. That Suzuki got totally sideways. That's a grip and rip it type scenario for the 32.
And Chad Reed in 7th, in line for his 201st career top 10. Of course, that breaks that all-time record that he currently shares with Mike LaRocco.
Outstanding, but for Reed, he expects much better out of himself right now.
Watching Dungey on the right side of your screen. A minute 10 plus 1 to go for the race leader.
Oh, Grant gets a little kick there. That's going to allow Reed to close right up. Reed triples.
Here it comes. Takes a tear off, looks to the outside, cuts inside. Not yet. And this would be his best finish since the last race of the 2015 season in Las Vegas. What a career for Chad Reed. Just incredible when you start looking at the numbers of a Hall of Famer. Future Hall of Famer.
Don't start talking about the end yet. His goal is to have the most career starts. Michael Rocco currently holds that. And for Chad Reed to break that record, he's going to have to go deep into next season, making every main event.
No reason at this stage, as healthy as he is and as quick as he's still riding, to believe that he's not going to accomplish that goal.
Reed, who at one point a lap or so ago looked like he was going to make the move on Grant, has dropped back a little bit.
Ryan Dungey has crossed the line, and the clock has run out. He's on the final lap. Here he is. And a huge twist to the storyline of this season unfolding here tonight.
Yeah, and look where the gap is now. Musquin's only 4 seconds off. I know Dungey's up front. He's just trying to pace himself, not make any mistakes, but Musquin is closing it up, and that just shows me how strong he is physically. Of course, Musquin, Anderson, and Dungey all trained together down in Florida.
Dungey will not only take the win, but he'll take the points lead tonight. Career win number 32, his first of 2017, as Ryan Dungey lights the candles in Anaheim. Musquin will take second. Seeley will take third.
Look what that does to the points, Ralph. Dungey will be out front by 7 over Musquin, and Roxon drops back 18 points.
Red Bull KTM goes 1-2 here tonight. And on to HRC. Be hoping for good news for their rider Ken Roxon. A good night for their rider Cole Seeley. When you talk about all-time Anaheim wins, Ryan Dungey, 5. And tucked in behind Stewart, Carmichael, McGrath, and Reed. Pretty good company. He's tied with Villopoto.
And also remember, for Stewart, Carmichael, McGrath, and even Reed back in the early days, we used to have 3 stops here. Now, of course, we only have 2. So it makes that number just a little bit more impressive.
You know, you can say what you want about, of course, Roxon having his crash, and we don't know yet more on that story, but look, Ryan Dungey came flying out of the gate, Jeff. We can't take anything away from this performance here.
Yeah, this was an outstanding ride by the 3-time champ. He was second in the 2 opening rounds, knew exactly what he needed to do after facing adversity in the heat race, and then through the semi, lines up 13th, pole shots, takes it wire to wire.
The man, Roger DeCoster, team manager for the Red Bull KTM team, now on your screen on the right. Jenny makes her way in there to talk to him.
Hey, Ralph, thank you very much. Ryan, hey. Let you and Lindsay at least get a quick hug in there. Congratulations. Career win 32 for you, retaking the points lead tonight, and you've had success in Anaheim. What went into the performance tonight, leading from the first lap, a clean performance for you all around?
You know, gosh, well, the start was I didn't have the greatest pick going to the gate because of my qualifying deal, but I got out of the gate good. Couple of changes going into the main event, and I got up front. I could see the board, and I saw Ken was coming. You know, I hope he's okay. You know, he's right on my heels. His pressure's on. I'm like, it's either you're gonna fail or you're gonna go after it. You know, and so he just kept pushing, and the track was nasty. I mean, I'm surprised with all the rain it got the way it did, but you know, towards the last, after the crash, I was like, man, the track's going quick. I'm losing my rear. There's a bunch of kickers. The track's gone. So I just focused on hitting my line, hit my marks. You know, let's run it in for a good win. And Marvin was coming on strong, but I want to thank my whole, I want to thank the man, Lord Jesus Christ, for keeping us safe. But I want to thank my whole team, Red Bull KTM, you know, my mechanic Carlos, the boys at WP, Jim, Mark, Roger, and Ian, and everybody who works there. You know, it's cool that we kept pushing each other, kept believing, and you know, it's a good step. So it's a good place to build off of, and thankfully to get this win, you know, earlier in the season than later.